video is going to be a little bit different. I want to show you guys kind of an unconventional way of relieving tension in both the neck, throat, shoulders, core. So this is going to be pretty much straight out of this book, Raise Your Voice by Jamie Mandera. So I'm not just, I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. Like, this is stuff that I used to do every single day, and I still do it for maintenance every once in a while. For the most part, I believe that once you reach a certain point, as long as you keep your body overall, you're doing yoga, you get exercise, you're good. But there are specific areas that if you're not aware of, if you don't pay attention to, that can get really tight, that can cause you to put tension in the wrong places when you're singing, which causes you to limited range, limited power, and so forth, so on and so forth. So it's going to be kind of a longer video. You can follow along, because I want this to be something you can kind of follow along with. So, but basically, there's no singing in this. This is kind of an unconventional way of relieving tension. So the first thing you want to do is start doing shoulder shrugs. So like maybe like 10 to 15. And you can just do this like, when you wake up in the morning or before you sing. I'll probably lose count now that I'm talking. I'm not used to doing a guided video like this, but this just helps relieve tension. And when you get to about 10 to 15, whatever feels good, you don't have to, there's not a fixed number. It's kind of like whatever feels good to you. Do forward rolls and really try to get them going here. So 3. And make sure you breathe while you're doing this too. We definitely want to be taking deep breaths. We don't want to get stuck in the chest, because that'll cause your breath to be restricted. You want to use yoga breathing. Just straight from the belly. Make sure that belly is expanding and you're breathing slowly. And you go back the other direction. So make sure you go both ways, even if you're straight. Terrible joke. The slower you go, the more you can kind of get into this too. So the deeper you can go with this. And then once you're done doing shrugs, and this might be a variation of it. I don't know if I'm copying this 100%, because I've kind of found which ones are most effective in my body. So these are just the ones that I use. But then you'll take your hand and just stretch to one side. Hold it for about anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, depending on how tight you are. The biggest thing is that you remember to breathe. Just remember to breathe. And sometimes it's good to count it by breaths too. I'll do like maybe 3 to 5 breaths. You do the other side. Okay, and then once you're done that, it's probably going to look kind of funny on camera, but you're going to tilt your head back. So I'm going to kind of sit on my knees here. It's my girlfriend's table of spiritual stuff back there. But then you can push up on your chin and just do that. And if you're not feeling enough of a stretch, I don't recommend this for everybody, because you're probably, if you haven't done this before, you're probably going to feel a lot of tension. But if you're not feeling enough of a stretch, you can move your head side to side. But you just go like this. Sometimes I'll just kind of, and that just helps really loosen everything up in here. Do that about, 10 times, 12 times, 15 times, whatever feels good for you. And you're going to take your hands behind your head and go back the other way. So just making sure you're getting all sections of it. It's just going to help, not only kind of help the throat muscles relax and reset, but also it'll stretch out the back of your neck and your shoulders. And don't do this to the point where it hurts. Just do it comfortably. Never push. If you want to go deeper, it always comes from the breath. It never comes from forcing. Because if you can relax into it, you can get deeper into these. Okay. So once you've done that, um, Jamie Vendera recommends going around like this. I don't do that. I was told by a doctor that's not really good for your neck. It's puts excess stress on the vertebrae brachii. So I don't mess with that. Um, but then once you're done that, uh, you can start massaging back here. Everything's connected, right? I know the sing muscles are in the front of the throat, but everything's connected. It's like if you took there's no rubber bands around here. But for example, if I took this, right, and actually here, let's see if I can, right, like if something's pulling this way, it's gonna feel like the problem's right here, right, in your body. But the problem, or I'm sorry, if it's pulling this way, it's gonna feel like the problem's at the top and the bottom. It's kind of a last second example, but right, if you have something pulling in your body like this, it's gonna feel like the problem's here and at the bottom, right? But the problem's actually right here. So just because we feel pain here and here, that doesn't mean where the problem is. The problem could be somewhere entirely different. So it's important to approach the body as kind of a full entity and not really get hyper focused on one spot. And that's really why I try to push everybody to do yoga, because it's a full body approach to relieving stress. But you can just massage out here, really dig into it. This is only about a 10 to 15 minute routine. I mean, you can spend 30 to 45 minutes if you really, really need it. And then you can just kind of, massage the sides here. I like to just get in here, get these tendons here. And you'll feel if there are spots. Now, one that he recommends in his book too is also getting the collarbone, but that kind of freaks me out. I have misalignments and stuff, so I don't touch there. It's just too sensitive, and I'm aware that it's just not. It doesn't serve me very well. It kind of scares me, so because there's just too much weird tension there from too many snowboard falls and stuff. So I don't do that, but you can kind of get underneath the collarbone and massage if you're comfortable with that. And the other thing, so then once you have these massaged out, you can do this, like with the tendons under here. I like to really dig in, and not like in the throat, but just really try to get the muscles, like right here and here. Maybe it's about 10 to 20 times. And then you can really just kind of move the larynx around. No, don't do it too aggressively. You don't want to hurt yourself, but kind of just, I do this one side at a time. Just put your fingers on one side of the larynx and just kind of get the little tendons that's sitting right next to it. And I have Tourette's, so this muscle tenses up a lot involuntarily. Can't really do anything about it, but it gets tight. So I like to work that out. You'll feel if there's knots and stuff in there. You'll feel them. Okay, now you get to work all the way down to the collarbone, and then once you've done that, this is the one I feel like really relieves the most tension. So you open your jaw, and there's like a spot that kind of opens right there. You're gonna take two fingers and dig in there. You can do it both on both sides. I can't talk while I'm doing this, but you can kind of get up closer to the ear. You'll feel it. You don't want to like press on your temple, but all this behind the jaw. Once you're done that, once you feel comfortable, that was actually one that I had dental work done when I was like 12, 11 or 12. That put these like weird turbo brackets on the back of my teeth, were basically bumps to force my jaw back, right? So when I first did this exercise, when I first massaged back there, it actually relieved so much tension that my jaw like shifted, and that was a huge breakthrough for me as a singer because my voice opened up a lot just like overnight just from doing that release. So this stuff definitely can benefit you, especially if you've had dental work done. The next step would just be putting your thumbs in here and pushing, just kind of getting under the tongue, right? You can put your hands on your face for extra support. There's one that Jamie likes to do. I don't know what this does exactly, but he studied reflexology. He'll put his fingers behind his teeth on the hard palate and push up. You can just hold that for however long you want to. Like I said, I'm not really sure what that one does, but it's in his book, so I don't want to hide anything from you guys. And then this is my favorite one. You just make a crazy face. This helps stretch out all the muscles around here and in your tongue, but it's literally exactly what it sounds like. You just go and you hold it out for about 10 seconds. I'm not going to stare at the camera and do that for 10 seconds. And then you go the opposite and you kind of scrunch the face like. And this should really relieve a lot of the tension. And then what I'll do is I'll actually take my shirt and I'll take my shirt and I'll hold my tongue out. And this, you don't want to pull right on the center because it'll kind of, at least for me, it kind of catches that like middle thing under the tongue, that little sliver. But if you pull on the sides, you can really get a lot of that tension out. And then let it go slowly. Don't just let your tongue fall right back. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the entire vocal stress routine that I like to do if I'm feeling a lot of tension. Now there's also, you can do this at the end or you can do this at the beginning. Jamie recommends it at the beginning. I do a lot of yoga, so I just kind of skip this step because overall I'm pretty flexible and loosened up in the core. But the other thing you can do is when you're standing up, you stand up. Oh, my knees. You can, I've been walking around all day, so I'm a little stiff. But you can just kind of lean to the side. You can hold that for about 10 seconds, 10 to 15, 20. There's really no like maximum time to hold it. It's more just minimum. Go to the other side, get that stretched out. And like I said, I do a lot of yoga, so this isn't really much of a stretch for me at all. And then you kind of do a forward fold. If this compromises your back, just don't do it. And another thing I learned from yoga is you can actually put a slight bend in the knees. That just makes it easier on you. It makes it a lot easier on your lower back and gets more in the hamstrings. But that just kind of helps curve the spine a little bit and gets everything loose. You can kind of hang, swing side to side. Just get really relaxed into it. You can even cross your arms and just kind of let it flow, let it go. And then another one, you can do this. You can just stretch back. Get the shoulders in there a little bit, or if you're flexible, you can do bridge on the ground if you like doing yoga, and that'll also help stretch out that core. So if you do this routine before you sing, look, I mean, this video is less than 15 minutes long at this point, so this stuff really doesn't take that long to do, and it'll benefit you like a lot more than you would expect. This is really part of my routine that I incorporate, part of something I incorporated in my own routine that really just helped me loosen up tension and get my voice open rather than being so swallowed and muffled. And I mean, if you can relieve the tension in the jaw and the throat and the neck and the core, that's where you're going to find a lot of power in the resonance and the way you're in the way you release in the higher registers. So I hope you got a lot of benefit out of this. You can also do myofascial release, and That's something I talk about in my book, especially if you have a desk job or like me, you have bad hips. I had to get hip surgery this year. You can take a little crossball and just kind of, there's like a point. Sometimes if you sit for longer, like I said, you have bad hips, the pelvis will actually kind of rotate. It'll rotate, especially if you yeah have a desk job and you're sitting. Like the pelvis kind of rotate forward. So what you can do is take a little crossball and kind of put it right here and lay on it, and that'll help release some of the pelvic tension. There's also a spot right here. I had hip surgery, so that's a very important spot for me. It might not be as important for others. And then like right next to the tailbone as well. These are spots that really get really tight. And I know it's far away from the voice, and it's not like something you must do, but the body's all connected. So if you get tension down here, it'll work its way. It kind of works its way up. And if we can just loosen up all parts of the body, and like I said, treat it like a whole entity rather than pieces, that's where we're going to find where a lot of the tension relieves. So if you got value out of this, please leave a like. Be sure to subscribe, and consider picking up a copy of my book as well, Singing in the Mindset of Success. It's on Amazon. And yeah, let me know what you guys think.